Hey, what's up, MLB fans? One William Mark Anthony Spencer is back again on this beautiful, beautiful Friday of April the 8th, 2016. The new season is here, folks. Teams are ready to rock and roll. This is my first look at the new season. 2016 Major League Baseball season preview for me. So, we'll look at the American League, part one of two parts. So, folks, what do you have to say? It's a new season of baseball. Some teams have got off to slow starts, and some teams are going to be good, and some teams are going to be real bad. You know a team that I feel that's going to probably turn it around in 2016? I think it's going to be the Detroit Tigers. They're a team that could be on the rise again. It's been a while since they've been in the World Series. It's been a while since they were an established team. The Royals have taken a lot of their fire from them. But I think the fire is back in their belly. And I feel in the Central Division, it's going to be a three-horse race. It's going to be the Cleveland Indians, Detroit Tigers, and the Kansas City Royals. These three teams are going to be very, very interesting teams. You just never know in the game of baseball. Sometimes you get a break here, and sometimes you don't get a break at all. But every day, it's a tough day. Baseball's a long season, 162 games. It's a lot of baseball. So, they have more than enough time to build up good records where, if they are a playoff team, they can actually show what they can do. So, folks, now we move to the lower teams in the Central Division. The Chicago White Sox and the Minnesota Twins. These are two teams that are rebuilding, are still trying to compete, but are rebuilding at the same time. You look at Chicago White Sox, some of the players that they signed last year and some of the acquisitions they made didn't really work out. Jeff Samardzija, Melky Cabrera, a host of others. The closer actually worked out pretty good, Robertson. But, he's had some health problems the last few years, but I think this year he might actually step it up. They're young pitching. Quintanilla, he's a great young pitcher. Chris Sale is their ace. He's their future. So, the way I look at it, folks, it's a day-by-day situation in Chicago. They have to bring it every day. And they got to realize the fans there want to see this team make the playoffs. They haven't won a World Series, 2005? So it's 11 years ago. And they want to get a little taste of that World Series again. Their neighbors to the north, the Cubs, went all in the offseason. They are the favorites to probably win the World Series for the first time since 1904. I don't think they're going to win it this year. But they'll come close. But I don't think they're going to win it. I think they'll get knocked out again in the National League Championship Series or in the Division Series. So we go down to check out the Minnesota Twins led by Joe Mauer and some of that great young pitching and great young bats they have on this team. Irvin Santana, he had some suspension issues last year. Nolasco had some arm problems last year. I expect these guys to really step their game up in 2016. Sometimes when you have injuries, it can only break you down, but at the end of the day, it can't break your heart down. And some players have had Tommy John surgery. Some players have had shoulder problems. Some players have had knee problems. But I think at the end of the day, folks, you just got to believe in your skills. Believe that you, the player, can always make the difference in the end. And I think they will make the difference in the end. You just got to go out there, play the game you know how to play, have fun, and believe that you can win. And I think that's what, when I'm looking at the Minnesota Twins, one thing they have this year, they have pitching. And if their bats can start to click, start to get things going, watch out for this team. Minnesota has some good young prospects that are making their rounds in Major League Baseball. And now it's about time for them to start shining. The Target Center hasn't been the place like the Metrodome was for the Twins when they had so much success and their players were just making the playoffs every single year. And, they didn't have great playoff success, but they won a couple World Series in that old Metrodome. But it's going to be tough runs for them in Target Field. And they got to believe that maybe they can make it. but they have to believe they can make it. So we move to the American League West. The team that I think is going to win the World Series, they're down in the Pacific Northwest, the Seattle Mariners. How about Robinson Cano? He set a record. He's had 4+ home runs in his last 2 games. This guy's on fire. The $25 million man, $250 million man is starting to earn that paycheck. Another player that needs to step his game up is Nelson Cruz. He put up some big numbers last year, but he might need to put up even bigger numbers if Seattle have any chance. The pitching has to be 100% good. I think Iwakuma coming back, he's healthy, I think he'll deliver. King Felix has to start delivering, making his pitches, striking out batters, and not getting lit up like last year. He had one of his worst ERAs in his career. I think it was close to, 5.67. So, I mean, here's a guy that has the ability to strike out any batter in the league. You know, he has never been to the playoffs as a player. Is this the year Seattle gets back to the playoffs and maybe win that World Series? I think it's a possibility. I mean, everyone's talking about the Blue Jays, the Cubs, the Yankees, the Red Sox. A team you all have to really watch out for. I think this year Houston will probably be a bad team. The Houston Astros had a great year last year. Das Keuchel won the Cy Young. They're young players showing that they can play in the big leagues. They can compete against the best teams in the world. But I think this year will be a year that they won't be as good. I think they'll go back to their old ways of losing. But, you know, you can only win for so long. You got to spend big. And they spent a little bit. They didn't spend big like they should have. And that might come back to haunt them. I mean, sometimes you have to make the big signings. Bring in those superstar players that can continue the momentum that your team's got you so far. But, you know, they're going to be a tough team, Houston. But they won't be as good as they were last year. Because I think Seattle, the Angels, and even the Oakland A's are going to be a lot better in 2016. The Texas Rangers are another team. If they can get any pitching, because I think they're going to get a healthy Prince Fielder, a healthy Josh Hampton when he comes back in May. I think this team's going to be a tough team to play against. Cole Hamels looks like he's pitching good. I saw him pitch recently this week. His changeup's looking good. His Biden fastball's coming across pretty good. I think Cole Hamels is looking as healthy and as happy as he's looked when he was winning big games with this Philadelphia Phillies, and he's a former MVP of the 2008 World Series. So I think when you look at Cole Hamels, he's coming to this year with lots of pressure. He has to deliver, and they need to deliver. Yu Darvish is healthy this year, coming back from Tommy John surgery. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on the young Japanese pitcher to deliver the goods, and especially the leader of that team. The leader of that team, Adrian Beltre. And he needs to produce. He needs to stay healthy. A contract year, of course. He's getting up there in age. But I got to believe that Adrian Beltre has one more big, fat contract in his near future, along with a few other big bats in the American League West. The Oakland A's are the Oakland A's. Sonny Gray, as he goes, the Oakland A's go. They don't have the pieces they used to have. They traded out Brett Lawrie in the offseason to the Chicago White Sox for some, I think, pitching, some young players. And you look at that deal with Josh Donaldson. You know who won the deal? The Blue Jays, right? Josh Donaldson, MVP. Blue Jays getting to the American League Championship Series, help from David Price. So, Oakland, they have a ways to go. Their stadium situation's not the best, but it's good to see them still in Oakland. Hopefully one day they get a new stadium, in the Bay Area. If not, move them to Montreal, man, or move them to Virginia or Las Vegas. Las Vegas would be a good fit for the A's, the Las Vegas A's. Or they call them the Las Vegas Rattlers or something like that. They'll probably still be called the A's, Las Vegas Athletics. But, the day Major League Baseball moves a team to Las Vegas, the day cows fly. But it would be a great investment because, baseball is huge around the world, and it would be the biggest ticket in town, other than the National Hockey League team coming in a few years. I guess the Las Vegas Knights or something like that. So we'll see what happens, folks. Now we move to the American League East, the powerful division of the AL East, led by the Toronto Blue Jays, the New York Yankees, the Boston Red Sox, the Baltimore Orioles, and the Tampa Bay Rays. I think Tampa Bay Rays will be a tough team this year. They got some really great pitching, and they're all healthy this year, so watch out. I mean, their closer is hurt this year, but they have some really good pitching. And when you have pitching, it makes up for all the falters you have. They cut James Loney, and that really sucks. I think James Loney is another guy that has good experience, one of the best first basemen in baseball, and I think a team will probably sign him soon. So, I mean, you look at the Rays, they have their pitchers coming back like Alex Cobb. Matt Moore is healthy this year. Odorizzi will be better this year. Their ace, Chris Archer, I saw him play against the Blue Jays. He did get lit up a bit, but I think he's going to be a tough pitcher this year. They got some good young outfielders, Steven Souza Jr. They got Logan Morrison playing first this year. They acquired him from the Seattle Mariners. And they got Brad Miller too. They acquired from the Seattle Mariners. So I think Brad Miller he's not great defensively, but he has a good bat, and he's a really good young player, and he will help them a lot in Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay are going to be a tough team this year. They might lose quite a few games, probably about 80 games, 70 games. So maybe 100. We'll see. I think they'll lose about 70 or 80 games. So they're going to be near the bottom. I think the Red Sox are another team that are going to be pretty tough this year. They'll probably win about 80 games. They look pretty good. They got some real talent on that team. David Price being one, the highest paid player in baseball, well up there. I think 30+ million, 31 million per year. I mean, he's making more money than Mike Stanton. I think Stanton's making $25 million a year. So, but that's a lot of money, man. I mean, he's the highest paid pitcher in baseball in the history of the game. So, I saw him pitch recently, and he looked awesome, just like when he pitched for the Blue Jays. He looked really, really good. I think the Red Sox, like Hanley Ramirez, he needs to deliver. Big Papi will in his farewell season. Big Papi, one of the game's great players, great people. And I think Red Sox have a chance to make the playoffs. I really do. The Yankees are another team you got to watch out for. A-Rod and Beltran and Teixeira, they're all healthy, they're all focused. But if they can't get any pitching, it's going to be another long year for the Yankees. And they could be sellers come trade deadline. The Blue Jays, they're a contender, no doubt about it. The one thing that hurts them is they don't have pitching. Their bullpen looks pretty bad. Their starting pitching is okay. It's not the best. And what will hurt them is their pitching. And if they miss the playoffs, it's because they're pitching. And it looks like ownership's not committed to spending huge money on pitching. So I can see them selling off Batista and Encarnacion if they fall out of the playoffs. So we'll see. Baltimore, I think, might win this division because they look like they're the best team in this division because they re-signed everybody. They got back Chris Davis. Their pitching is not the greatest, but it's good enough. Their bullpen's as good as any in Major League Baseball. And their young core is as good as any in Major League Baseball. So, if the Blue Jays are going to win this division, they're going to have to get past the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Baltimore Orioles, who I feel might win this division. And it will be very close between Blue Jays, Orioles, and unfortunately the Red Sox. So we'll see what happens. Anything can happen in these games. Anything can happen in the American League in 2016. This is Mark Spencer for the MLB season preview for April 8th, 2016. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you in part 2, MLB season preview, the National League. The national pastime of America is back. And I'm glad to be back talking some baseball. Something that's a big part of me. I grew up playing baseball, Little League, you name it. Watched all the games, World Series from the 1980s to the 1990s, the 2000s. Hey, now we're getting close to the 2020s. So we'll see you in the future, folks. Peace.